Dungeon Master by FTL Games. Dungeon Master is a real-time dungeon crawler game from 1987. You explore the dungeon from a first-person perspective with your team of up to 4 adventurers. The game is a mix of combat, magic, survival and puzzles. Your characters gain experience from the actions that they perform. Fantasy dungeon crawler games have been popular since the dawn of computer games. However, Dungeon Master brought in real-time play, a first-person perspective, passable graphics and sound effects, and combined them all together perfectly. On top of this, there is a complex magic system, a massive dungeon, complicated puzzles and traps, and a constant need to worry about food and drink resources. It all came together perfectly, and the game was a masterpiece for its time and set up the entire genre of games that are still alive today. There's a real sense of danger when you play the game. Yes, the graphics and sounds are simple, but they are effective. Hearing something move suddenly puts you on alert. What sort of monster did that sound like? Was it a footstep or a crawling sound? And if your light sources ever drop, your range of vision is severely impaired and the game becomes a scare fest. And if you play the game as it was designed, without an online map, there's a real risk of getting lost within the dungeon. When engaging monsters, you need constantly to be aware of the space around you. The last thing you want to happen is another monster comes up behind you and suddenly your exit is cut off. There are a number of different monsters and they are well balanced and varied. You begin with mummies and shriekers, but as you dive deeper you encounter poisonous worms, bands of skeletons, lightning fast giant wasps, impenetrable stone golems, ethereal ghosts and midget wizards who hurl fireballs at you. And there was even an annoying giggler whose sole purpose is to sprint up to you, nick one of your weapons and then run off. Possibly the most annoying enemy ever. The interface works and is fairly intuitive. Although by no means a first-person shooter, the combo of keyboard for movement and mouse to command is familiar to modern gamers. The magic system relies on learning and remembering sequences of runes to cast certain spells. Although it seems complex, it's surprising how quickly you get used to it. The graphics are old and the resolution is low, so you have to accept that if you're going to play this game. The game is incredibly difficult to complete without some sort of assistance in the form of an online guide or map. Some of the keys are extremely difficult to see on the floor, which results in a lot of backtracking trying to find them. Originally, the game shipped with a book which explained the backstory, which was quite good, but in the game itself, the story is almost non-existent. Dungeon Master was a work of genius for its time, and even today it's playable and enjoyable. It's not flashy, but this game somehow captures the pure essence of dungeon crawling in its raw form. Viewed from the perspective of games today, I rate Dungeon Master a 7 out of 10. Sam gives it a rating of 5 out of 10. In terms of difficulty, without a map, we give this a 9 out of 10.